Today for our experiment, we will be putting together a closed circuit. For this experiment, we will need battery terminals, light bulb terminals, circuits or switches that open and close, and wires. We will also be examining short circuits. So let's first build a simple closed circuit. We will need our terminal with our light bulb. The light bulb has already been screwed in. If we take it out, we can see the bottom of the light bulb terminal has a screw. The screw goes right through and touches the metal that comes over here and touches this black side. The metal side, is connected with this metal piece that bends and then touches this side. So you can see that one side is actually touching the side of the light bulb and the other side is touching the bottom of the light bulb. So the electricity can go in through the bottom. Okay, the electricity will go in, up through the bottom, through the filament, to the side, and back out. Okay, so that is how that terminal works. So we're going to use that terminal with that light bulb. All right. We will use a battery, and the battery is connected from there to that terminal, and from this side of the battery touches there and touches that terminal. So there we have our battery and we have our light bulb. Now all we need is 2 wires, and once we connect it all up, we will have a closed circuit. Let's begin by connecting the red. Here we have a nice closed side on here. And now we will, now at this point we have an open circuit because there's a gap. Our electricity cannot flow completely in the whole loop, cannot make the circle. So until the circuit makes a circle, it cannot light the light bulb. So once we connect the circle, then we begin to see our light bulb glow. Okay, now we have a complete circuit and our light bulb is lit. If we disconnect any of these sections, our light bulb quits working and it becomes an open circuit. So now it is an open circuit, and now it is a closed circuit. With all of the connections made, this makes a complete, simple closed circuit. Next, let's examine what happens if we add in a second battery. We will take this side off. We will connect our batteries here. Now they're able to act as one because the metal is touching. And we put this side on, and our light bulb is much brighter. When we added a second battery, we added more power and our light bulb is much brighter. So the more light bulbs we add, when we added more light bulbs, we got a brighter light. This is a closed circuit with 2 batteries and 1 light bulb. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to add a switch into our circuit so we can see how a switch works. This is a switch and we will be adding it in. Let's disconnect here. We now have an open circuit again. There's no way for it to make a loop. We're going to connect our switch here. The color of the screws and the color of the wire do not need to match. Now we will connect here. And finally we will connect it back to the bulb. Now at this point, our light bulb is not lit. We have a connection from the battery to the light bulb terminal, from the light bulb terminal to the switch, and from the switch back to the battery, but our light bulb is not lit. That is because our switch is open. We need to close our switch in order for the electricity to flow. When we close our switch, we see our light bulb come on. So it must have a closed switch in order to light the light bulb. And this is an open switch, so the open switch makes an open circuit. The closed switch makes a closed circuit. Open circuit, light bulb is off. With a closed circuit, the light bulb comes on. This works just the same if we only use one battery, but once again, our light bulb is just not nearly as bright. Building some switches you will need to do for your homework assignments. You will need to build one open circuit, and building some circuits, is what you will need to do for your homework assignment. You will need one open circuit and one closed circuit. This is an example of a closed circuit. This is an example of an open circuit. I would like at least one of your examples to have a switch in it. So you could have this for your open example, and you could have something like this for your closed example. Or you could have a closed switch and an open simple circuit. However you want to build them, you can use the worksheet and cut out the pictures of the materials, or if you have your own materials, you can build your circuit as I just have and take pictures of it. Just be sure to lay a paper beside it with your name and the date on it. I want to show you one other thing today. The last thing I want to show you is a short circuit. For a short circuit, I'm actually going to use some different wires that I have made myself. These wires look like this. Very similar to these. I just don't have the nifty little hooks, so I made my own. Okay. Kind of see them there. All right, so basically what we're going to do is we're going to hook these up, but these also have something very, very special. These have a place on them where I have scratched away at the coating. And if you notice there's a little bit of shiny revealed, and that shiny is the wire inside the plastic coating. So in order for us to see how a short circuit works, I did that to both of the wires that I made. This one also has a shiny spot. Okay, so in order to see this really well, we will use both batteries. I'm going to hook my wire up on this side, and I'm going to hook this wire up on this side. And now I will connect it to our light bulb. And I will connect this side to our light bulb. As you notice here, it's already lighting and I don't even have it completely connected. These are a little harder to get on since they don't have the nifty little hooks. So, sometimes you need a screwdriver to tighten them down. Okay, so here is our closed circuit with my wires that have this damaged spot on them. Okay, and we can see that the damaged spot is right here. Okay, right there. And the damaged spot on this side is right there. Now, a lot of cords you have probably seen on things sort of have doubles. They're sort of hooked together like that. Well, what happens sometimes with cords is they get worn, and when they get worn and the two metals touch on these two, it short circuits. In other words, the electricity doesn't make a loop the whole way through the light bulb. When these two wires touch, the problem that happens is that the electricity, rather than going the whole way through, decides to take the less resisted route and goes right through where my fingers are and the wires are touching. The problem with this is when it goes through the light bulb, it takes some of the energy out of it, and then whenever it goes just short circuits like this, it'll often heat up the batteries or heat up the wire and can sometimes even cause a fire. So short circuits are usually bad. Let me show you another example of this short circuiting. If I take this metal end and I touch it where the wire is bare, and I take this metal end and I touch it where the wire is bare here, it would rather go through the looped up wire there than through the light bulb. Electricity will always take the path of least resistance. Okay? It's kind of lazy. It doesn't want to have to go through the effort of going through the light bulb where it is more difficult. It goes through where there's least resistance. So it goes right through the wire in the middle. Just like when we touched the two, it would rather jump from one wire to the next than go through the light bulb. This is an example of a short circuit. This is an example of an open circuit when that popped off my battery terminal. And this is an example of a closed circuit. So those were examples today of the three kinds of circuits that we took notes on. I would like you to make sure for your homework that you do an open circuit, a closed circuit, and use at least one switch. You do not have to give an example for homework this week on a short circuit, but I did want you to see what happens in a short circuit. If you have any questions about our experiment today, let me know. Hopefully you have some materials you can try it yourself or use the pictures on our homework sheet.